everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jackie and today I'm here for Music-A-Thon Day 3 and today I'm here to do the concert book tag. This combines two of my favorite things in the world, which are going to concerts and books, and this was created by As Read by Brooke. I will go ahead and link her original video down below for you guys. And yeah, this is just about some things you might see at concerts and the books that go along with these topics. So without me rambling on any further, let's jump right in and get started. Alright, so question number 1 is tickets. What is the most recent book you purchased or got from the library? And for this I'm going with two different books. The first one is the one I purchased recently, and that is Peace and Turmoil by Elliot Brooks. This is the first book in the Dark Shores series, and this is a 700-page chunker. I am actually currently reading it. I'm buddy reading it with my friend Sarah over at Sarah's Nightstand, and yes, this is again an epic fantasy series, adult epic fantasy, and it is, the way I described it is like Avatar: The Last Airbender meets Game of Thrones. It is following these 4 different kingdoms who basically had this huge war 30 years in the past, and basically they have been at peace ever since, and all of them have the ability to use the elements surrounding them. And yeah, that's what I basically know. Again, that's where the Avatar: The Last Airbender vibes come in, and they're all kind of rivals with each other. So that's the Game of Thrones element. So I'm reading this right now. I'm not very far into it. I'm really liking it so far. So that was the most recent book I purchased. The most recent book that I got from the library is Nevernight by J. Kristoff. This is one I've actually picked up from my library multiple times in the past. I just never got to it. And this is another adult fantasy book. It's high fantasy, and it follows a girl named Mia who goes to like an assassin school, and that's basically all I know. And I love this cover. It's absolutely gorgeous, and I'm really looking forward to it. Question number 2 is The Crowd, a book community that you love, and this can be either in real life or in a book itself. And for this, I'm just going with the book blogging community. I love my fellow book bloggers. I've been a book blogger for almost 3 years now. It'll be 3 years in April, and I have met so many amazing people through that community and have just bonded over a love of books that way. That's even translated, of course, into BookTube, and this question could be applied for BookTube as well. But yeah, both communities are amazing, and I'm happy to be a part of them. Question number 3 is Singalong, a book that you quote every time you get the chance to. And I'm just gonna go with the most like stereotypical answer and just say Harry Potter, because I mean, it's Harry Potter. I literally quote this all the time in my personal life. Before it's Sold Out, a book that you're really looking forward to reading but just haven't read yet. And for this, I am going with Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas. This is book 6 in the Throne of Glass series. I started rereading the Throne of Glass series last year, and it started right before my reading slump hit. So that is why it's taking me a while to get to the point where I can actually pick this up. I'm still rereading Empire of Storms right now, which is book 5 in the series, but I love Throne of Glass. It's one of my favorite series of all time. Sarah J. Maas is my favorite author of all time in general, and I'm really looking forward to finishing this series up. Question number 5 is The Band, and this is a book that you want everybody to read so you guys can fangirl over it together. And for this, I have 2 answers as well. The first one of those is, I think, the most obvious, and I'm just gonna hold it up and not explain anything. Just please read this book, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. And the other answer that I'm gonna say is a real throwback to the olden days of BookTube, and that is Legend by Marie Lu. I feel like this series was really, really popular when it first came out and when BookTube was just getting started, and it doesn't get as much hype around it now, and I wish it did because it's amazing. This is probably one of my favorite dystopian series of all time. I love the dystopian genre, and I read this right around the time I started my channel, so this is like late 2016, and this is YA dystopian. It follows a near futuristic USA where the country has basically been split in half. There is the Republic side, and there's like the arch rival side, the darker side of the country. And there's 2 main perspectives, June and Day. June is the military prodigy, and her brother was mysteriously killed one day. And Day is the most wanted criminal in this country, and basically he is put to blame for June's brother's death, and they are paths cross, and yeah, it's just amazing. It's like no other dystopian series I've ever read, and I've read plenty of them, but nothing can compare to this one, and that is saying a lot. and I highly recommend it. Question number 6 is Encore, a book you wish had a sequel or a series that you wish had just one more book. And for this, I honestly don't have an answer. Most books I am satisfied with just having one book if it's a standalone. I don't think I've ever come across a situation where I wanted a sequel to a standalone, to be honest. And as far as series, I'm always happy with the conclusion. Again, I haven't had that problem in the past, and you know, I'm happy with that. Question number 7 is opening act, and that is to name a book that you weren't expecting to love as much as you did. And for this, I'm actually just going to go with an author, and that is anything written by Stephen King. I started reading Stephen King's books last year in February, and I started off with Mr. Mercedes, and I loved it. It was my favorite book of last year up until December, when another Stephen King book, Misery, actually beat it out for number 1. And yeah, Stephen King is now one of my favorite authors of all time, and I just did not expect to like his books at all. I don't like thrillers, I don't like horror, in any case, not books, not TV shows, not movies. That is just not my thing. And for some reason with Mr. Mercedes, when I read it last year, just really connected with me, and maybe because I was reading it on audiobook, that's why, but I just loved it, and I haven't looked back. I love Stephen King's books. So number 8 is merch table, and that's to show off one piece of book merch that you own or would like to own. And for this, I am going with my wand. So this is a actual wand. I got this at Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida about 4 years ago now. I went with my family for my last February break that year before I graduated high school, and I got this at Ollivander. Is Draco Malfoy's wand, because Draco is my favorite character in Harry Potter. So I got his wand. I really like it, and I am hoping to get another one in the future if I ever do go out to Universal. That just depends on work and school and all that, but I love this one. It is definitely a standout in my Harry Potter collection. Number 9 is concert friend, and that is to name a book that you bonded over with a friend. And for this, I'm going with I Hate My Selfie by Shane Dawson. This is a non-fiction short story collection, which is like way out of my comfort zone. I am a huge Shane Dawson fan. I've been a fan of his for about 5 years now. I love his videos, and I'm a huge adoring fan, and my best friend Heather is also a Shane Dawson fan, and she recently read this. This is actually my first read of 2019, and she read it shortly after I did, and we both just connected over it and our love of Shane Dawson, and yeah, this is definitely one that has a lot of memories attached. And finally, question number 10 is tour announcement, and that is just to name a book that you're really looking forward to that's coming out in the near future. And for this, I am going with Rebel by Marie Lu. This is the 4th and I believe final book in the Legend series. Again, this was originally a trilogy, but it did get expanded last year, and Rebel comes out this September, I believe, and I'm so excited. Like I mentioned earlier, I love the Legend trilogy. It will always hold a special place in my heart, and the ending of the 3rd book made me bawl my eyes out, and I don't cry in books ever, so that is saying a lot. I'm really looking forward to Rebel. It is set quite a bit after the events of Champion, the last book in the original trilogy, so I am definitely gonna have to reread it before it comes out, but I just can't wait. I cannot wait for it to come out. Okay, so that is everything I'm gonna have for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you have not already. Normally I do post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but since it is Music-A-Thon this week, I am posting a video every single day up until March 31st, so make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out on any future videos. And I'll go ahead and tag Maddie, or Miss Maddie Reads, for doing this tag, because I know she loves music as much as I do, and she's also my co-host for the Read-a-Thon, so go check her out. Her channel is linked down below, along with all my social media links. And all being said, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for Music-A-Thon Day 4. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye!